So, a post from this user on Twitter that I saw yesterday, I was just scrolling through, I had to bookmark it. They said, Xbox fam, time to ask CY Games for Grand Blue Fantasy versus Rising, Grand Blue Fantasy Relink on Xbox via Discord. As a PC gamer, I saw this and I said, no, 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 no. Why would you start doing this thing? And I've seen gaming fans do stuff like this before. They've sat there and they've said, hey man, maybe we can ask these developers to bring this game to our platform. A game that they maybe willfully refused or by some measure of deal decided to take money to not bring the game to your platform. And my question is, why would you start asking them to do so when there are other games out there that will respect you and is happy to get your money? In fact, games where the developers are going to be saying, man, we are so thankful that you bought our game. We appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for all that you guys have done to basically support our title. Yet you want to go beg a dev that doesn't care enough, that must have taken an exclusivity deal or said they're just not going to bring their game to the platform that you play on. Here's the thing. You don't need to ask them. You have money. And anybody that's willing to bring money to you, this is the position and the behavior and the attitude of PC gamers that keeps us in the winning, cycle. Because most PC gamers are not going to go out there and start looking for your one game, your one-off game. Now, yes, this game exists on PC, but they have to basically have the game on PC and, hedge themselves. But don't be fooled. I think Xbox players should actually be the last community right now asking anybody for games. Not just because of the matter of, self-respect and pride, but as a result of the fact that Xbox is basically sitting on so many games. Do y'all remember Black Myth Wukong? Do you guys remember that game? That game, this is me playing Black Myth Wukong on the Steam Deck. This is all that conversation that we've been having saying, Black Myth Wukong, is it going to run on the Series S? Let me tell you how people got exposed. One thing about me is I'll say what I think is true and I'll just wait. Those same people, right, that said, well, the Steam Deck has got more RAM than the friggin', Series S, right? Many of them are the same ones that are coming out to say that the Switch 2 is more powerful than the Steam Deck, which the Switch 2 plays like the Series S. Those same people now are coming around to maybe somehow equate the Series S to being similar to the Switch 2, which is supposedly more powerful than the Steam Deck. These gaming conversations are too good to be true. And I've told you on the Xbox side, for every Wukong, there is a Wu Chang. You should not be begging for games because Wu Chang Fallen Feathers is a game by 505 Games that is coming to the Xbox. The goal is to get it out in June this year. The game carries the aesthetics. The game carries the, mechanics from what we're seeing. It carries a lot of those aspects that you got to see from Wukong that is very, very common in terms of the expertise of the developers that are rising out of the East. And the developers over at Game Science, they decided to take an exclusivity deal with Xbox. Yes, I can now basically say that because of Phil Rosenberg's interview, which was actually beautifully, beautifully put out there and open because it was a PlayStation blog article where he basically pointed out how their team, right, is one that engages in, locating gems, gems like this. This team worked with Annapurna Games very early on games like Stray, which was a launched exclusive on PlayStation. The same approach also led to our support of Genshin Impact, which was an exclusive to PlayStation. Black Myth Wukong, which was an exclusive to PlayStation, and Stellar Blade, which was an exclusive to PlayStation. So don't beg them. Okay? Don't do that. Do not do that. I think Xbox gamers, one of the things that that has successfully happened is a lot of PC gamers have put themselves in, the conversation, even with all of the trash smoke that the so-called PlayStation fanboys have engaged in. We've ignored them And we've pointed out the exact truth that's going on in the gaming industry. So don't do that. Don't beg any of these developers to bring a game your way. Let them hang on to their game if they feel that their game is that valuable. You have the money. And thank God, while I was reading the comments, this person said, if they don't care about adding at least FSR to PC version, why the heck would Xbox, users have to ask for a version of their, to their console? This person said, nah, I won't be begging for it. They're the ones missing out on our money. It's not like we don't have what to play. Expedition 33, Oblivion Remastered, just released. Soon Doom and the rest of the year is stacked with GTA, Night Rain, Crimson Desert, Mafia 4, and so on. Exactly. It is time now for gamers to understand the economics of gaming and behave accordingly. I am not going to go be fighting for some, I hear about all these other stores that are out there that, give good discounts and all that stuff. And I'm like, well, they're not in my town. I'm not going to bother myself anymore to be worrying about going all the way down there. I mean, I think this summer, let me give you guys a very, very interesting, one-to-one example. We wanted to go to a Costco. We have a Sam's Club in our town, right? So we looked at some prices of some items and we went to the Costco and we were excited because, we could do our big monthly shopping over there and all that stuff. But at some point, man, this thing got old. I was like, bro, I am driving all the way to another town, and I'm talking like some serious. I mean, I'm doing a 1-hour trip one way to go to this Costco, and I said to myself, bro, if they are not interested in at least coming to the next town that is close to us that also has a Sam's Club, that's got like some some capacity to be able to carry them, I'm not going over there. It's not their fault. That's where they can get the mass customer traffic. But man, I'll go to the one I'll go to the Sam's Club, bro. I'm not going to be chasing these guys down. Why should gamers be chasing you down for, with their money? That is absolutely stupid. They're gamers. We are grown. We're no longer doing this hype nonsense where we're going to basically be out there saying, oh yeah, please take our money. No. I must not see that comment anywhere from anybody. Like I said, I wouldn't presume to tell you what to do with your money, but goodness gracious, why should anybody, right? Why should anybody have to beg for that? It's insane. Xbox gamers, you got games to play. I mean, this is just talking on that side. Look at Oblivion Remastered. It surpassed 200,000 concurrent players on Steam. After all the talk and gaslighting about Xbox not having games and, they're skipping Xbox. I remember when they came out with that nonsense, sometime last year. Oh, these developers are skipping Xbox because the juice is not worth the squeeze. Yet, we're starting to see that was all a fugazi because somebody was in the background pretty much going ahead to do deals that was locking games from Xbox. And they came out with their boss that's over, Senior VP Global Partner Development Relations. They don't care. They literally came out and told you right here in front of you and made all these so-called PlayStation fanboys that were saying that Black Myth Wukong was not, money had. It looked very, very, infantile because many people thought, some people, they thought they could gaslight you into thinking that you were, crazy. But the truth, like a lion, it will take time to go around, but it usually eventually comes to the table. Now, that reality is PlayStation and Xbox are no longer dealing on the same level. Xbox has literally outclassed them. Can you imagine that this game is still coming out this year? Y'all better get busy. What is this guy doing on Twitter asking for Grand Blue Fantasy? What's wrong with you, bro? You got games to play. You got a backlog that I'm sure if you're an Xbox player, you can't even see what are you asking for Grand Blue? What is Grand Blue gonna do for you? You got games coming. Oh, man, I just thought I'd make this video because I saw this comment and I was like, man, this is insane. Thanks for watching the video, man. Talk to me in the comment section. Peace out.